calling Foster and Foster. This is Lisa. How may I help you today? Okay, let me go ahead and transfer you to Nancy McFarland. She's available right now. May I tell her who's on the line? Okay, Alice, one moment and I will transfer you.
Hi, this is Miss McFarland. How can I help you today? Hi, Alice. Nice to meet you. I understand going through a divorce and facing that situation can be very difficult. So I'm happy to help you today, and we can figure out what's going on. I understand that when someone's facing a divorce, it can be quite overwhelming. So to start with, let me ask you some questions about yourself and about your family situation. So, your husband, I assume husband, okay. Your husband, how many years have you guys been married? 14 years, okay. And you're currently residing in this state? How long have you both lived in this state? Okay, okay. The divorce proceedings can happen differently depending upon the states. Each state has slightly different approach or different laws about divorce proceedings. So that's why I wanted to ask about where you've resided. So you have lived here for the 14 years of your marriage. Okay. Are there children involved in the divorce? Okay, and I see that they are young, so we are going to be talking about some custody issues as well. Um, I don't want to sound harsh in any way, but I want to ask you about the divorce. Do you feel that you guys are both agreeable to this? Is this something that you guys are not on the same page with, or is there fighting been going on? Tell me about where you guys are at emotionally together. Sure, I understand that. And unfortunately, there are many instances where the children are the ones who get hurt when it has nothing to do with them, that it's their parents who are going through the divorce. But unfortunately, the children cannot be written out of the equation completely. So we will be talking about custody. Like you said, the joint custody, it seems you guys are agreeable on that. And there are several options. Today I just wanted to know that you do intend on having joint custody. And when we get down to the nitty-gritty details, we can figure out exactly what that looks like as far as visitation rights. Some of the things that come up are about weekend visits, or perhaps a week here and a week there, or a month here, a month there, summers somewhere. So there are a lot of options that we can consider when it comes to custody of the children. And like you said, we don't want to have them going through any traumatic experiences unnecessarily. We want them to have hopefully as smooth and as seamless as possible. There is one other thing I wanted to just note as a side note right here. I have found through the years of doing this that oftentimes families who do have young children are also looking for an opportunity to get emotional support as well. So I know some public options that are around here that offer some counseling for families. I know that there's, of course, lots of therapists and offices out there who do counseling for a fee, but I'm aware of a couple of resources that can offer free counseling, at least initially, and then refer you to some other places that may be better suited specifically to your situation. So before we part, remind me to give you a paper. I've got some brochures that talk about some of those community resources around here. The next topic I wanted to ask you some questions about is about your financial situation and some of the assets that your family has. First of all, do you guys have a joint checking account, or do you have separate banking accounts? Okay, great. Sometimes when you do talk about having an independent business, then that does make things a little bit more complex, but nothing we can't handle, especially when you said that you have sold the company. How many years ago did you sell that company? I'm sorry, how much did you say that you have in debt from the sale of that company? Okay. Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. One of the things, let me just give you an overall picture of what's going to happen and why I need to ask you these types of questions, is that we will be looking at your lifestyle currently as a married couple. So before you separated, before he moved out, we'll look at what your lifestyle looks like. And when we talk about how to divide assets and how to divide debt, we'll be looking at trying to create a similar lifestyle for both of you. So that creates, we often throw around the word equal, but we don't necessarily do equal to be fair. We want to be more fair than equal. So we'll be able to divide the assets and the debt that would be fair for both of you. So I've got some worksheets that I can send home with you. Like you said, I know it can get complex and again, overwhelming with trying to figure out how to know what documents to talk about or what debt or what assets. So I've got some worksheets that make it pretty handy to use. You just have to fill those out for what kind of valuable items you have. We talk about assets that has a specific value given to it. So you wouldn't necessarily call your couch an asset, but you would your trailer that you mentioned. So we'll talk about what kind of things define an asset, and each of those are defined on that worksheet, and then I'll ask you to itemize those things specifically. The same concept applies to debt. When you're looking at how many bills you have, how many things you need to be paying, sort of think about it monthly budget. What kind of things do I pay on monthly, or what kind of things do I pay on yearly? Those are the items that we'd be put on the debt worksheet. And then we'll look at those specifically and figure out what needs to happen in order to maintain that same lifestyle and divide that debt and the assets fairly. So another question is about your home. Okay. I understand that it is a very emotional experience to go through this process. So in conjunction with talking about the facts and the data and the information needs to be filled out on a worksheet, we don't want to ignore the fact that you're going through a very emotional time. I do need to finish off our phone call here, but before we wrap up, I wanted to just apologize. For a moment, I kind of forgot that we were on the phone. So I was telling you that I was going to give you some papers. I will email those to you. I have got all of the documents that you'll need in a PDF format. So I can email all of those documents to you and fill those out. Let's go ahead and set a date. If you're agreeable, let's go ahead and set a date where we can meet in person. So you can fill out those worksheets and gather the associated documents that are indicated on those papers. And then we can meet in person and start to figure out some more details. What do you think about that? Sure. We have had in our office here, we've worked with other individuals like yourself who are deaf, and we have hired interpreters in the past. So there is an agency that I'm familiar with that we've hired interpreters from, and we are happy to provide that service for you. Well, I am going to actually transfer you to my secretary, if that's okay with you, and you'll have a conversation with her about where our office is located as well as what day and time works best for you. She's got my complete schedule. Okay, Alice, thank you so much for giving me a call. I'm looking forward to meeting with you. Hold on while I transfer you.
Hi, I I understand you need to set up an appointment to come in and visit with Nancy McFarland. Let's see. I'm just looking at her schedule right now. Okay, she actually is not available on Tuesday, but she does have a morning either Wednesday or Thursday. Could you do either one of those days? Okay, she could either see you at 9 in the morning or 11:30. Which would you prefer? Okay, then I'll go ahead and put you down for 9 o'clock. If you can just come with all the documents that she emails to you and make sure you've got that with you, then you guys can have your appointment, and I think things should work out. Do you know the address to where our building is? Yes, that's correct. Okay, and just so you know, parking in the back is the easiest way rather than out on the street. That way you won't get a parking ticket or charge. So just go ahead and pull in the back, and then you'll have to just walk around to the front door, and we're on the second floor. You're welcome.